For the first time in nearly 20 years, the value of the euro has dropped below the US dollar. Since the beginning of the year, the euro has lost about 12% against the dollar, and that trend is expected to continue. Well, in terms of the reasons behind the euro's weak performance, first of all, higher energy prices and soaring inflation driven by the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Europe now has to shell out more euros to import limited energy supplies. Experts say Europe is bearing the brunt of the crisis in Ukraine. The United States, on the other hand, is much less affected.
Unfortunately for Europe, the effect of certainly Russia-Ukraine has been more amplified than it has been here in the States. And certainly energy prices much higher, relatively speaking, in Europe than here. So the impact of higher commodity prices has been felt more in Europe than it has in the States so far.
And while the euro sinks, the US dollar is soaring. Analysts say the divergence in monetary policy between the US Fed and the European Central Bank is another reason behind the falling euro.
We are very much out of sync in terms of policies, monetary policy. The US Fed is increasing interest rates very rapidly. The steps, I think the markets are expecting 9 times increases of the interest rate this year, whereas in Europe this is a lot more timid.
So now that we know some of the reasons, let's look at what these currency movements mean for the whole economy. First, a cheaper euro is a good news for US travelers in Europe. Everything from hotels to restaurants to shopping will seem discounted from just a few months ago. And in the US, a stronger dollar means lower prices on imported goods, from cars and computers to toys and medical equipment, and this could help temper inflation. But there's also bad news for some. European travelers will receive fewer dollars for their euros, meaning less spending power, which could hurt the tourism industry in the United States. And imports to Europe will also get more expensive. Companies pay for many raw materials in dollars, so with a rising dollar, the extra expense could be passed on to consumers. Inflation, which has already reached 8.6%, could get even worse. And American companies with large international operations will also be taking a hit. This is because they have to convert foreign sales back into dollars. Profits at both Microsoft and Nike have already fallen. Finally, for countries where dollar debt represents a large portion of their gross domestic product, there will be significant impacts. So, as you can see, if the US Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates, this will undoubtedly exert further downward pressure on the euro and on the whole global economy as well.